Hello everyone and welcome back to Very Cold Lasagna, your filthy casual place for all the filthy casual takes on the world of sports. I am DylanLasagna and we are here as the 49ers are preparing for, yes, another playoff game. This time around, they're here in this point in the season in the conference semifinals. Yes, the NFC Divisional Playoffs. Who are they facing exactly? Well, here they were last year, facing a familiar foe. A historic rivalry being revisited. Let's just cut to the chase. It's the Dallas Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? Yes, that is right. So, like I said just a couple of seconds ago, last year revisited. The Niners went to Jerry's World. And you all remember what I said last year when they began their playoff run. I predicted with the way they were playing, this thing was going to be a hoax, and that hoax was going to come to an end, and the Niners were going to get smashed. They're finally going to get their reality check, their skull-crushing finale against the Dallas Cowboys, even if the Cowboys, yeah, as some people would say, what can go wrong will go wrong. These are America's team. The Niners were just going to get their reality check in Jerry's World, as I wrongly predicted that they were going to get smashed. Why? Because the Cowboys never showed up to play. They didn't show up to play. The Niners just outplayed them in that game and won by a score of, I don't remember, like 21-17, I believe. I don't remember the exact score. And yes, they got the Nickelodeon treatment too in that game. I at least remember that part. And I strongly told everybody to go and vote for Jimmy Garoppolo to be the MVP, the Nickelodeon most valuable player of that wildcard game. And yet all you people voted for Dak Prescott. And Jimmy G wasn't even an option. Like, man, what is wrong with y'all? So anyway, here you are a year later, and Niners and the Cowboys are back at it again, running it back. This time around, it's on our turf. It's on Levi's Stadium. The Field of Jeans, ladies and gentlemen. It's our turn to make some waves against the Cowboys. So this is going to be the most intriguing matchup for divisional weekend for the 49ers. I'm excited, but also kind of I guess I could say a little concerned. Obviously, some people can be like overconfident, confident, and a little neutral, and there's nothing wrong with that. But when you look at this game going in as the Niners host the Cowboys, there are definitely some things where the Niners should have some little bit of concern for Dallas. When you look at the Cowboys when they played Monday night against the Bucs, they completely ran them out of the building. In fairness, the age for almost everybody on Tampa Bay is starting to show. The defense was slow. They couldn't keep up with Prescott in the offense. And yeah, Dak was pretty much having his way with CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Dalton Schultz, Tony Pollard. The offensive line did a pretty good job, protecting Dak Prescott against the pass rush that was pretty much like slow, not able to get to Dak all game. And meanwhile, on the other side, defensively, Tom Brady looked very uncomfortable in that game against the defense that pretty much Michael Parsons didn't really get too much involved in, other than a couple of pressures. It was mainly Dorrance Armstrong and DeMarcus, and a little bit from DeMarcus Lawrence, but overall, that defense made Brady look very uncomfortable, and the offense for Tampa Bay stonewalled in that game, thanks to, in part to the defense making Brady just look very bad. His age really showing in that game. It was just a total beatdown by Dallas as they blew out the Bucs 31-14 to close out Super Wildcard Weekend. Meanwhile, the 49ers opened Super Wildcard Weekend hosting the Seahawks. And, well, the final score, 41-23, it definitely looked like the blowout on paper, but it didn't start out that way because the game could have been a much closer one, especially when they went to halftime. They did not play great. They actually started off poor, especially defensively. They had a hard time stopping DK Metcalf on Charvarius Ward's side, and in the middle too, like in the secondary with Kenneth Walker and Tyler Lockett. And offensively, it took a little bit of a while for quarterback Brock Purdy to get settled in, to make things happen. And sometimes he was trying to get too aggressive on certain plays, creating a little bit too much pressure on himself at times, and a little bit of too much over-reliance on Christian McCaffrey in the running game, not mixing it up enough. But then they got it rolling in the third quarter, partly due to a strip stack fumble created by Charles Omenihu. And from there, the Niners got hot on offense. They finally got it rolling, and they revved up the rest of the way. And that fumble also sparked a fire in the defense as well. And that's what caused the final blowout score, 41-23, as the Niners eliminated the Seahawks from playoff contention. So when you look at this game, obviously, these two teams are going to be, it's actually an interesting one. It's actually an interesting game for Dallas. You have a quarterback in Dak Prescott. When he is at his best, he can connect with these guys like Lamb, Gallup, and Schultz. Schultz is a pretty solid tight end. CeeDee Lamb is one of the best receivers in the league with this speed. And Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott, well, mainly Tony Pollard, he is proven to be a reliable running back option for Dallas. Dallas possesses one of the strongest offensive lines in the NFL, despite the changes they've undergone in the offseason. And their rookie tackle, Tyron Smith, has been pretty good for them since they acquired him in the draft. But he faces a big challenge in his divisional playoff matchup against Nick Bosa. And overall, the entire Dallas offensive line going into this game, because they're not just facing Nick Bosa. They're facing Eric Armstead. They're facing Kerry Hyder Jr., Samson Ebicom, Charles Omenihu, and I wish the Niners would activate Drake Jackson for this game. I really do, because I don't know why they left him inactive for the Seahawks game, because I figured maybe it was just like a healthy scratch, or maybe like he's ineffective or something. I don't know what's going on, but you want as much depth as you need in that defensive front. So, yeah, the Dallas offensive line is going to face a lot of depth in the 49ers pass rush. So, on the other side, for the 49ers offensive line, I'm not sure if it's as strong as it was last year, but it's up for debate. But Trent Williams did a good job last year despite having a bad ankle against Michael Parsons. Now that he's healthy, fully healthy, he can be even better, I think so, against Parsons in the battle of the trenches. And that's one of the main things that's going to be in this game. It's going to be a battle of the trenches between each team's offensive and defensive lines. So they're definitely, both of these teams' trenches are going to be tested in this game. And it's going to be a big deciding factor on how effective both of the running games will be for Tony Pollard. How is he going to do both inside and outside of the running game? And for Christian McCaffrey, since Kyle Shanahan likes to have him run in the middle, how is he going to do against the likes of Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, Dorrance Armstrong, and others? That remains to be seen. And then, obviously, the big thing going in for Dallas is, well, can they get Dak Prescott to have another good game? And like back-to-back good games. Because it's kind of the same story as last year. In the playoff, going into the playoffs for Dallas. Dak Prescott sometimes has the tendency to be good game, bad game, good game, bad game. A lot of inconsistency for Dak Prescott. And it was the same thing this year. You would have a good game, and then a bad game, then good game, then bad game. And in the last couple of weeks, he had that inconsistency. He would do good against the Bucs, but then the weeks prior, he would do very bad against the Commanders defense. He would do okay against the Titans defense. He would do good against what honestly should have been a strong Philadelphia defense. And then he was okay against the Jaguars defense until the pick 6 in overtime. So what I'm saying is, it's like Dak Prescott has the tendency when he can be in that mental state of being good, he'll be good. But then when he makes those mistakes, like on another week, then there's just so much inconsistency. So the Cowboys are hoping that Dak Prescott can maintain that consistency. Yes, he's facing a tougher defense. Can he maintain that consistency from the Tampa Bay game, carry that over against the 49ers? Meanwhile, for my 49ers, Brock Purdy, our rookie, is facing a much tougher test, perhaps his toughest test yet. Overall, he's faced a lot of these defenses that, to be honest with you, aren't that great. But against a top 5 defense in Dallas, it's going to be a very tough one. This is it's no joke. So Purdy is going to be facing a lot of pressure. Now, obviously not from outside voices like me, but from the Dallas defense, and how he reacts to that pressure, how he plays against that. It depends on how we will do. So it's on Kyle Shanahan to mitigate, to minimize that pressure, not to put everything on him. Have his supporting cast like Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, McCaffrey, pretty much everybody in the 49ers. Help him out, make him feel comfortable, get him settled in early and often. He needs, if you want him to succeed against what will probably be his toughest test yet, the supporting cast has to help him out. They have to get him feel comfortable right out of the gate. So quickly look at the injury report, because, well, to be honest with you, these teams are as healthy as they could be right now. The only injuries to note is for Dallas is their tackle Jason Peters, which at this stage of the game is not really a loss for the Cowboys if he's out, because, well, let's face it. I mean, he's at the point of his career where he's a Hall of Famer. Jason Peters is a Hall of Famer. Yes, it definitely helps to have some depth for the Cowboys at the offensive line, but considering that he had that what could be a mild or moderate hip injury, it could look like he probably may not play. Meanwhile, for the 49ers, Samson Ebukam and Jawan Jennings left the Seahawks game with ankle injuries, but I think they should be good to go. Considering the reports that were put out, the practice reports, it seems like they should be fine for Sunday. So we'll see how the rest of the week comes along heading up into this divisional game. And then obviously Jimmy Garoppolo hasn't practiced, so yeah, I'm not sure what to think of that, but it could be a little bit of slight concern if we don't see any progress going into the NFC title game if the Niners make it to that point, because, well, you want at least a little bit of options. No, yes, I'm kind of like being a little bit hypocritical, but hey, you need at least some help as much as possible if you're the 49ers. And at this point, getting Jimmy G for as mid as he's been for during his time as the 49ers, I guess you could take what you can get. So when you look at this team for Dallas and for San Francisco, obviously, if you want to win this game for the Cowboys, you got to protect Dak Prescott from the 49ers' relentless pass rush, from their very physical pass rush. If you allow pressure on Dak, then he's going to run into those mistakes that were constantly hurting Dallas. Just look at the Washington game. They couldn't get anything going because they couldn't protect Dak Prescott. He was forced into a lot of errors. He had that pick six against the Commanders, and they just couldn't get anything rolling in that game because, well, the Washington's defense was just swarming around him. But if Dallas can protect him up front, they can allow him to attack what's honestly been a glaring weakness for the 49ers. If they can't get pressure on Dak, that allows opposing quarterbacks to attack the secondary, which has been a concerning spot as of late. So for Dallas, find a way to protect Dak and allow him to attack the secondary. And then on the other side, find a way to attack the offensive line for San Francisco. Sometimes that could be a weak point as well. And with a stronger pass rush in Dallas, yeah, Purdy's going to have to find a way to get out of the pocket. And for Dallas, you want to find a way to contain that pocket. Meanwhile, for my 49ers, they got to start off strong defensively and stay that way the rest of the way. Because these last couple of games, they've been getting off to these very slow starts. I don't know what it is. I don't know if there's been a lack of pass rush or like in the secondary, they're just like being very average or like not wide awake. But they're just like falling asleep on the wheel at the start of these games, starting off too slow, allowing too many points, too much like big plays, too many first downs to happen right away. So they have to start off strong defensively to start this game. And then last but not least, like I said, Kyle Shanahan has to utilize all of the supporting cast to help out Brock Purdy. So it can confuse, it can rattle the Cowboys defensively. It's like they might hone in on Christian McCaffrey right away, but then how are you going to cover, like, let's say Deebo Samuel, or how are you going to cover Brandon Ayuk, or how are you going to cover George Kittle? How are you going to cover Jawan Jennings? Who's going to account for Elijah Mitchell, for example? Like, this is going to be the deciding factor. It's like, how are they going to account for all these players that are out there? So I think for San Francisco to win this game, Kyle Shanahan has to utilize almost everybody in the offensive supporting cast to help out Brock Purdy succeed in this game. So this is definitely going to be a close one because these two teams are as strong as they are right now. I know Dallas is coming off a kind of ish win against the Bucs. Yes, the Bucs are crap, and San Francisco is coming off a blowout win against the division rival in the Seahawks. So I do think it's going to be a tight one. The Cowboys, when they're at their best, when Dak Prescott is not making mistakes, they can play it tough. They could definitely play it tough with their own skill players on both ends. But I do think with the way the 49ers are playing and with the way that they're set up defensively and on offense, and as long as they can make Brock Purdy feel comfortable and just help him out, then the Niners can pull this out. They can close out the deal on Dallas in what will probably be a very tight game. and they'll move on to the NFC Championship game. So this is going to be a exciting game to watch, and also kind of a nerve-wracking game. So I'd like to know your thoughts about this upcoming game between the Cowboys and the 49ers, which will close out the NFC division, the overall NFL Divisional Playoff slate this coming weekend. So I'd like to know your thoughts on this coming game, and yeah, have at it. So anyway, this is DylanLasagna, a very cold lasagna, and keep that lasagna very cold in the fridge with your takes on the world of sports. And until next time, peace out.